Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Apothecary Diaries Season 2 Episode 14 Reaction. So the previous episode we actually help out Xiaolan in making some connections because her term is coming to an end and she wants like some connections so that later on she can get a job and stuff. So Shisui takes us to the baths where there are like what's the name, the concubines. They can come and, like, the lower rank, the middle rank concubines and the servants, they go there, they bathe there, just chill out, I guess. And there they act as massagers and go and make connections with these people who can later on ask you for, to join them and help them out. And that's how you can get a job. So basically that's how they start making connections. And this is where we also meet Lishu, who, it was surprising because she shouldn't be here, she's a high rank consort, like a concubine. So we get to know that basically some ghost is coming out and she's now telling us that story. So yeah, that's what's going on. So let's see what happens. Yeah, let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Jinshin's here. Yeah. Dancing ghost. Oh my god. That she's like, not this again. Uh yeah, you did. Oh no. Right. Yes. Bro. Well, we know. Honya is like, why is. Oh, okay, she's also gonna go. Oh boy. Wow. That's why she said, like, Honya, you go with them because she didn't. You won't be able to get a. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, he does have an upper hand currently. I was gonna say, yeah. Oh boy. Wow, everyone's just right. Well, you know what? True. No, oh no, he knows, but I'm saying like, does he know that Jinshi, like Mama knows now? I'm sure he knows. Like, yeah, he is freaked out. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Great. Here we go again. Okay, maybe she's the one who's doing this. I wouldn't be surprised if she's just harassing her. Former head lady in waiting. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at it. It looks quite fancy, right? Perhaps. Yeah. Could. Right. Uh, he wanted everyone to leave. Wow. Hmm. Yes. Damn. Well, they kind of look down upon her. She got jump scared. Right. So it was a lady, makes sense? A lady ghost. She saw the ghost too? Oh, then that's probably not a ghost. Hmm. It was definitely someone who's connected. Okay. Hmm. What's this about? Yeah, like that's a bit weird. Hmm. What? I cannot. Oh, mold. Yeah, they literally don't care. Wow. Yeah. Oh, maybe from that's where the like a draft is coming. Yeah. Like the wind was coming from, I don't know, bathhouse. Okay. Oh, waterway of the rare palace. Okay. Unplug the bathtub. Oh, I'm guessing it's like some kind of a. But what about the dancing ghost? Yeah, that's. I can understand kind of the moving curtains, but. Hmm. Waterways passed under. Waterway passes under the floor. Okay. Ah. Yeah, I was gonna say it's something like that. Oh, maybe it was the steam that made like a form like a face. Like Okay, here we go. Oh, I see. That special envoy gave us. Yeah, but she said it's important to her. Hmm. Yeah, it's probably the steam and her like reflection of her face or something. I don't know. But she said it was dancing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see. It's. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't. Wait, what? Uh, wha- oh, wow. Ah. Okay, so she didn't even realize it's something like that up until now. Yeah. Vapor, it removes the curtain, and yeah, okay. Hmm. Hmm. See. Oh, maybe that's why she kind of imagined it was dancing. Nah, let her. Yeah. Hmm. Oh my God, these people are here. How long were you making tea? Girl, get away from here. Can you stop? Yeah. Someone fire this lady, please. Ah, yes. Why don't you mind your own business? Can these people. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Christopher High. Oh, wait. So she just took it. But she must have known the conversation. Yeah. True. They need to clean this whole place. Like like Lishu's whole lady in waiting like group, except obviously Kanan. They just need to fire all of them and bring new people in. But at the same time, I guess it's just going to happen. The same thing is going to happen again, unless until Lishu herself becomes more, commandeering and she's a little. Anesthetic. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, true. I guess they check. No. Yeah, you can just fake a lot of them. Yeah. Three officers from Division. I say. But I feel like Jinshi's uh yeah. She's like, oh yeah. The yeah, they're talking about them. Laura. Hmm. Yeah. Dead worm. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Crazy. That's the word about him. Don't interact with him. Hmm. Nah, if you remember, she said already that I guess, but she doesn't have the full information then. Oh. Yeah, wow. Oh, maybe it's from Lishu. Ah, handled a lot of the physical labor. Hmm. Right. Oh, I just realized something. Yeah, this is connected to that scene from that episode when there was that one guy who looked like. Is that person here? Let me see. Oh, that. Here you go. This girl. That's definitely a girl, and it's her. This goes on the left side of the body to go now. Yeah. Okay. That's her, right? What was her name? Suire or okay. Whoa, what the? Oh no. Oh no. Wait, is that Zhao? Oh no. Okay, more trouble. That's it. All right, and that was today's episode. Okay, that was episode number 14 of season 2. Now, today's episode, we deal with the whole ghost the thing, and we go and kind of debunk it, obviously. Mao Mao goes and debunks it, kind of gives us the explanation as to what's going on over there. And, we also get to see Li Shu, figure out the secret of the copper mirror. That is actually a magic mirror. It has like her mother's face on it, and so I guess she didn't know about it because obviously there probably wasn't anyone to tell her, and she never really saw it like that. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, and obviously it's pretty obvious with the whole harassment that she faced from her own lady in waiting. And you know what? I was kind of saying while reacting, I was like, oh, like it will be great if they like take out all the ladies in waiting except Kanan, obviously, and just switch them out with some new personnel. But I feel like it's just going to end up like the same thing's just going to end up happening again. Like, because unless and until Lishu herself becomes a lot more, author. What's that word? Like she herself becomes more like I cannot find that word, but like more leader like, that kind of like, thing. Like all the others that we see, like Yokuyo, Lihua, Lolan, unless until she herself becomes like that, I feel like people are just going to take advantage of her kindness and her, like her the way she like behaves, like she always keeps to herself and everything. They're just going to take advantage of it. Like I feel like if all of these current ladies in waiting are just fired, I don't know if you can do that. I don't think you can. Maybe they're probably a lot of these ladies in waiting are probably like royalty, like they have like like connection to, yeah, like it's probably difficult to do that. That's why they're not really doing it. But even if they're somehow able to do that and bring in new people, they like at first they'll probably just properly cooperate with Lishu, and then when they'll realize that Lishu is just like someone who they can just do whatever they want to, like a pushover, they're just going to behave like the ones that are behaving now. It's just going to keep repeating. So yeah. Anyways, Lishu will like after like Jinshi kind of talked to that lady, like that lady in waiting, and stopped her harassment. I'm assuming harassment will subside a little bit at least, but yeah, it's just I feel like it's just going to revert back as the time goes on. But yeah, for now we kind of like dealt with it because that lady in waiting, like Jinshi, also couldn't really say anything up until now because he didn't have any proof. Because obviously, if he tries to do something about this, they'll be like, "Oh no, it's nothing," like like we're very friendly with Lishu, right? Lishu, and Lishu will also probably say like yes because of pressure. So there's no proof. So now that Jinshi had the physical evidence that she's harassing her, which was literally the the hairpin thing that only the high ranking like like concubine can wear, like Lisha should be wearing. She has that in her hair. That's literally physical evidence because obviously like how important that is. You are not just going to give it to someone like that, so then she must have taken it from her forcefully. So that's literally physical evidence. So now that he could find something to prove that they're bothering her, he took action. As you can see, warned them and told them that do not do this again. But yeah, it's just her whole like like her whole the set of people that surrounds her are just toxic, and it's like a whole toxic like like situation with her at least. Anyways, yeah, that's the whole situation with Lishu. Now, a few other things we get to see in today's episode. First and foremost, that person. Now, I am not really sure if that's her because we've seen her in season one, and it's been a while, so I cannot really remember how she looked like. But this is. I'm pretty sure her name was Suide or something like that. There's three names that are extremely similar, and I always mix it up. For example, Shisui is there. Obviously, Shisui, we know her, and she is, and I remember her pretty well because we literally see her every single episode. So that's one. Then we have Suire, and then we have, I feel like, another character who has a very similar name. So Shishui, Suire, and then that there's like an old lady, if you remember, who was like a lady in waiting of, I forgot what's her name. It is also something very similar to that. So I always mix these two name up, like Suire and like that. So I guess I'll as we keep watching, we'll probably get to know. And I'm not even sure if this is that girl, like from season one. So I guess I'll have to wait and see because she looks exactly like her. Uh, and I'm calling her she because I'm pretty sure that's a lady, you know. And yeah, but let's wait and see. And yeah, like there's some kind of a mystery going on here as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that was that was that last scene where we saw, and then obviously in the end we get to see that Jalan, he got involved in some kind of a problem, like someone's eyes, some high ranking lady's concubine's eyes fell down, and she's like, yeah, I guess we'll have to help her with that later in the next episode. Okay, now another thing I forgot to mention is like how Jinshi is like, because Gaoshun literally told him, Gaoshun's like, when are you going to tell her? Because you can see in today's episode, Mao Mao literally comes to that answer, He's like, she's like, wait a minute, if like the initials are checked, every single time they get in, um, like that's why Mao said, like, is it only one time? Like maybe he could somehow fake it somehow. I don't know how you're gonna fake being a Yunus, but maybe somehow you can fake it one time. But doing it every single time, it's pretty damn difficult. So she's like, oh, is it only one time? Because if it's one time, then it's believable. So when the doctor, the quack doctor was like, no, no, like like every single time, except royalty, obviously. And she immediately comes to an answer. She was like, oh, then maybe Jinshi is. Then she's like, no, obviously not. I doubt that, you know. And yeah, she like the thing is, she basically doesn't want to get involved in any of this like royalty business. So she doesn't press into, like, it's the type of situation where like if you try to delve in deeper, you're going to get into more like troublesome situation. So you have the urge to delve deeper, but you refrain yourself and you're like, nope, let me just stay away, because if I try to like try to delve deeper, I'm gonna get sucked in, and I don't want any of that nonsense. So you try to avoid that. Basically that Mao was like, obviously not. Like, but if she actually thought about it properly and decided to delve deep into it, she could easily come to the answer. But she always tries to keep herself away from that, to not get involved in court politics and everything. So yeah. Anyways, and that is why in this type of situation, at least regarding these type of things, Jinshi will have to be very, very, like, clear about it to Mao Mao, and otherwise Mao Mao will never come to the conclusion, because she herself doesn't want to get to the conclusion, because she knows she'll get roped into some other, like, nonsense. So like Jinshi will have to literally spell it out for her, or act it out for her, like that happened with the whole frog thing. Like Jinshi didn't say anything, but Mama felt it. So either she'll have to feel it, or she'll have to be told directly by Jinshi that, oh, I am this, and yeah, maybe then she'll accept it, because she just doesn't want to get into any of these things. Either way, Gaoshun wants to bring her into their like camp as soon as he can. That's why he's like trying to hurry up Jinshi, while Jinshi's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Wait, I'm like trying to find an opportunity or something. Right. Anyways, so yeah, and that is exactly why you can see, like obviously, Gaoshun says that the way you're interacting with her is extremely weird now. Like, So you need to actually tell her, like, because a lot of questions will pop up in Mao Mao's mind now that she knows a lot of, like, literally in today's episode you can see she could piece together the clues to come to the conclusion, but she herself decided to stay away from it, so that's why she has no idea. But it's pretty obvious now, like, Mama can easily come to the conclusion. That's why Gaoshun is like, you have to tell her, you know. Right. Anyways, and the first part was kind of funny where you could see that the difference, because in one of the previous episodes, when Gyokyo was like, oh, like, like like I'm lending her to you, and Jinshi's like, oh no, I want you to like give her back or something like that. She said, but in that episode, they kind of like like kind of went back and forth a little bit, and then both of them backed down. This episode, however, he didn't back down because he has more, like, you could say, like, an upper hand over Mao Mao because of the whole frog and the whole Ogs Beozar, that thing. That's why he actually firmed down, and he didn't, and that's why Gyokyo was surprised in the end, because Gyokyo thought that he was going to back down, very soon. The fact that he didn't back down and kept going further, made Gyokyo surprised. She's like, okay, I wasn't expecting this. Did something happen between you two? Like, that's why they asked her. God damn it. It's almost snorted. Good God. That's why she asked her. And Mama was like, yeah, well, right. So there you go. That's what happened. And you can see in the beginning, Gyokyo was trying to make Honyang go with her. So, in more of a way to show Jinshi that, oh, yeah, like, you're not taking her away from us. She's still under us. That's why she told Honyan to go with her. But Jinshi shut it down because Jinshi's like, oh no, like, you don't need to send anyone with you. I'm just going to take Mama back because I'm the one who introduced her to you guys. So, he firmed down over there and, like, didn't let Honyan go with them, because if Honyan went with them, it would have been more like, oh, she's still under Gyokyo's, But again, these are just friendly banter. It's nothing serious. They're not really like at each other's throats or anything. It's just friendly banter. Right. Anyways, and yeah, there you go. That was what happened in today's episode. That was all. And oh, obviously the main, like, the the main thing of today's episode was basically solving that mystery. So, like, Mao Mao kind of scientifically proved what actually happened. So basically, there's a few things that happened. First and foremost, number one, the warehouse being beside the that room, and Mama was surprised at the fact that there's a warehouse there, because obviously, like, why? Like, why is a warehouse there? Good question. Basically, the ladies in waiting couldn't bother to clean the mold or make the room proper, so they just put things to hide the moldy parts and everything, so that just they couldn't be bothered. So that's why. That's number one. Number two, the whole place was kind of like, like, rotting because the waterways went underneath it. And if you remember, like they said, like, how every single day the ladies in waiting make like hot water for her, probably trying to harass her, like, because, yeah, like, why else would you do something like that every single day, even though Lishu doesn't like it? And that is why the steam and the thing that comes out of there rotted the thing. And it probably rot, like, at first it was probably just normal, but more and more the hot thing, like, like, kind of got and bumped with the flooring. It started rotting little by little, and finally it got rotten enough that it made like a little hole. And as soon as that happened, the steam is coming inside. So as soon as the steam comes inside, even though the room is closed, no wind should be there. The steam is making the curtains move. So that's number one, why the curtains were moving. Number two, I was actually thinking here that maybe the steam made like a face, and Lishu kind of mistook the face as a ghost, because obviously, like, I had no idea about the magic mirror. I that came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting that. So I was thinking it was a steam. It was, because obviously when you're scared and when you're in that type of a situation, like, you kind of, like, conjure up your own, like, through your imagination, like, you see something that doesn't even exist. So I thought it was something like that because she was extremely scared there. She probably saw that as a face. It was just the steam. But turns out that wasn't it. The steam was just for the curtains. Curtains were moving just because of the steam. The face was something else because the face, as we got to know, is because of the magic mirror. When the light fell on the mirror reflected and put like made a face on the wall, and it seemed like someone there. Now the dancing part, she said like the ghost was dancing. The dancing part was probably her imagination because like deep down in her heart, she definitely recognized the face, as her mother. And obviously she said it was a ghost, but she probably like deep down in her heart, she kind of recognized that face, and that face of her mother is connected to her dancing because she was talking about how her mother used to dance, and she remembers that very well. So subconsciously, seeing that face, she probably associated with it, dancing with it. So she imagined the whole dancing probably, in a way. And maybe like the steam was making like, like a little bit of a, thing. Like, so that's why maybe it seemed to her that she was dancing as well. Either way, yeah, it was just like a few things, coincidence, like piling on top of each other, making that whole illusion. Yeah, and Mama was like, told her like the reason, and when Lishu was like, oh, so maybe because I don't use the mirror, Mother got angry, and that's why she came out to scold me. And you can see Mama tries to properly say that, oh no, that's not it, but she starts crying, and Mama stops, and you can realize that Mama understood here that it's, I shouldn't really say anything here. Like let her just grieve because she, as she said, I don't know what it feels to have a mother, because obviously for Mama, her mother's situation is very different. Like you know what has happened with her, and what type of situation she's currently in. So that's why she's like, I don't have any experience, but I'm assuming it must be something which makes her like this. And yeah, and if you remember, Mama also like mentioned this in that previous episode where she said that I like I have difficulty understanding other people and their emotions, and because I myself from a very young age, I was just left alone because obviously all the other um, courtesans, they had their job, and they obviously they spend time with me as much as they can, but they were busy most of the time, so I was just alone, just crying, and nobody was there. And one day I just decided to stop crying, you know like she said something like that, and that's why her emotional understanding, like like a lot of things she just cannot properly understand emotionally. And yeah, she tries her best to do it, but sometimes she fails. And yeah, but here she realized, and she stopped at the moment and decided not to say anything after that, because it was Lishu's way of grieving her mother, because she has not been able to up until now, because obviously like other people are going to say stuff about her if she starts breaking down and crying. You've already seen these people, the ladies in waiting, the harassment that they make her go through, and she's still a child, and just a lot of other things, right? And I think that was it. That was today's episode. There wasn't anything else today, but you know we solved a mystery about the ghost. We like we dealt with the uh not dealt with, like Mama almost came to the answer that Jinshi is, Jinshi's actual identity. We met those guys, the eunuchs, the ones that have come, and that person was there. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's that girl from season 1, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's wait and see. I'm sure we'll get our answers. Right. And then in the end, that whole section with like Xiaolan, where somehow like that eyes dropped, and now she's been blamed for it. So yeah, there you go. That was it. That was my reaction, my overall impressions of today's episode. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see, Jinshi, not Jinshi, sorry, Mama, after hearing the ghost story, she's quite curious. So she asked Lishu about, like more details about it. So that girl, what's her name? Haku, no, Hekyu, right? That was her name. The new girl. She was saying like, oh, why are you like getting involved with other like it makes sense obviously, like like Mamo's loyalty should lie with Gyokyo only, but this is Mamo, like, and Gyokyo also knows that she's very curious about stuff. Even before, Mamo helped Lihua out. Mamo helped Lishu out before as well. Like all the other high-ranking concubines, she has helped them out. So I'm pretty sure Gyokyo knows, like that's literally Mamo's nature, and she wouldn't mind. But obviously, like Seki's like, oh, like why were you doing it? Because your loyalty should lie only with Gyokyo. But this whole thing gets interrupted when she gets called in by Jinshi again, and this is the whole section where Gyokyo has the whole banter with Jinshi again, with the whole like, oh, I'm letting you borrow her, and Jinshi's like, oh no, I'm taking her back. This whole thing. But this time Jinshi firmed down because he has more, I guess you could say, like confidence because of the whole Ox Biozar and the whole frog situation. So he's like, at firms down at the end, which kind of makes Gyokyo like, oh, that was new. I wasn't expecting that. Did something happen between you two? Yeah. Anyways, after that, Jinshi brings Mao Mao to Lishu's place, and yeah, so they start investigating. They go to the place to where the ghost has been seen, and they were like showing them everything. This is where they get interrupted by that girl, that lady in waiting with the thing. What's that called? The hairpin thing. Um, and she comes in. So she was apparently the previous head lady in waiting, and obviously Kanan took that position from her, so she's not happy with Kanan or Lishu, so she just harasses them. And yeah, so like I kind of said this in the like in the overall like impressions section, but like I always wondered why these like like ladies in waiting weren't dealt with. Like, couldn't they just fire them or something? But like I said, I'm pretty sure they're all actually high ranking, like like people who have like some high backing, because as far as I can remember, and as far as I know, like the ones who can become ladies in waiting are actually people who are kind of like from like some like high ranking noble's daughter or something like that. They are usually the ones who get uh, opportunity to serve as the lady in waiting, like because ladies in waiting are literally, especially if you're supposed to be the head lady in waiting, you're supposed to be someone very very important. So, they're not just going to give it to some random person. you know so yeah, it makes sense, and that's why Jinshi cannot really do anything in these type of situations. Like, also also because Jinshi is hiding his identity, so he cannot really like force his authority on the whole situation, so he has to also stay low. So he cannot really do anything in these type of situations unless they get like physical proof, and that's why the physical proof was necessary today, where Jinshi could actually like retaliate back after getting that proof in his hands. Anyways, so yeah, this lady comes in and starts harassing her, but Jinshi was like, "Oh, can you please, like give me some tea or something?" And they immediately go off to do that, and that's how he gets rid of them, so that he could talk to what's her name, Lishu, properly. So Lishu then elaborates like what has happened, and so basically she tells the story. She usually waits a little bit for the water to cool down because all her ladies in waiting do that. And so that day she was doing the same, and it was feeling hot, so she opened the window thing and saw that face of the ghost dancing. And she says that, and obviously she thought it was a ghost because number one, the curtain was moving and the whole room should be closed, so how the hell is the curtain moving? And she literally saw a face as well, so all these things makes her think it's a ghost. Now obviously, Mao Mao is like, let me start investigating. So she goes to the room beside it. She asks a lot of questions. For example, why is this place a warehouse? Because it's a weird place to make a warehouse, right? And then they get to know about the mold, about how the whole place is rotting, how there's like a little bit of a crack Mama asks for the blueprint. She gets to see the blueprint and realizes the waterway goes through there. So she pieces together everything and comes to a conclusion. Then she tells her, she's like, basically, oh, so she also spots the mirror, that mirror. Now, I was thinking, like, I was like, if she said, like, this mirror is very important to me, and obviously it's her mother's, like, memento. So I was thinking, like, if it's important to her, why she just left it there? And then I realized why it was, because first and foremost, number one, they have the good mirror now, the glass ones. So literally, few moments later, you can see the ladies in waiting come in, and the former head lady in waiting was like, "Oh, you have that mirror. Why are you using this?" So that's probably what has happened before as well. So because these people harass her, she probably used, even after getting that glass mirror, she probably used to use this copper mirror because it's literally connected to her mother, and it's her mother's memento. So she probably still used it. And seeing that, I'm assuming the ladies in waiting harassed her. Like typical school bullies, like trying, even though you're minding your own business, you try to butt into your situation and just, like, make fun of you, that type of thing. So yeah, basically they do that. They're like, "Oh, why are you using this? You can use the good one," and probably harassed her, tried to take it away from her. So she decided to just keep it here. You know, she decided to just keep it here so that at least they don't get their hands on it, and decided to use the glass mirror so that she doesn't get harassed. Basically, you know. So that's why this happened. And if not for the ladies in waiting, I'm assuming she still probably would have used the copper mirror because it's her mother's memento. She wouldn't have used the glass mirror. But because the ladies in waiting are just harassing her for it, she is forced to do this. So that's why she just kept it here, safe, so that they at least don't tamper with it, and decided to use the glass mirror. That's why. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, this is where Mama shows her that this is actually a magic mirror, and shows her that she says, like, sometimes, like, like magic mirror, they're done in a way that it, like, puts, when light is reflected, it makes like someone's face, maybe some kind of flower, some kind of a design, something like that. It's like the best of the craftsmanship, because they have to very, like, properly, like, make the indentations to make it, to make the face or the design pop up. And yeah, and it was her mother's face, and this is where Mama was like, this is probably the face that you saw, the moving curtains, and the light reflection, all these things probably made you think that it's a ghost. And this is where Li Shu tells everyone that this is my mother's face. And she says, like, maybe mother got angry because I'm not using it, that whole section. Anyways, all that aside, when now this is a situation where she was crying, this is a time when the ladies in waiting come in, and like we saw, started harassing her about the mirror. And she's like, "Oh, what the hell is this? Give it to me, like, you can use the proper mirror." And she tries to, like, she takes it from her. So obviously this is a time where Li Shu was just extremely mad, and she, like, she, like, just, like, clapped her back, and she was like, "Give it back to me," and almost like just jumped at her and grabbed the thing and took it away from her. And you know and she was still going to, like, try to harass her after that, but Jinshi stepped in, and Jinshi's like, "Oh, by the way, what is this?" And takes away the thing from her, the hairpin. Here we go. This part. I'm going to read this part because here we go. She takes a mirror. Jinshi says that is okay. That item is very precious to concubine Lishu. I find it to be improper to take it from her without asking. And then he's like, grabs her the hairpin, and he's like, "Did she gift you this as well?" And then she suddenly realizes what happened. And even if it was a gift for you, a regular lady in waiting, to wear an item engraved with the crest of a high ranking concubine, there you go. Yeah, it did not occur to you how deeply inappropriate that would be. There you go. So he's literally like, I have the physical evidence now, and I can say, properly, that I can prove it, that they're harassing her. Because obviously, no person of sane mind would give it away like that. Because you're supposed to be the high-ranking, concubine. You're not just going to give away your own identification, like hairpin, to someone else. You know, uh, yeah. Also, it is inappropriate, as you said, for, like, even if Li Shu tries to give it to her, she should deny it. As a lady in waiting, that is showing proper respect. Like, oh yeah, the fact that even if Li Shu or someone gave it to her, that you take it, that in itself shows disrespect. So you shouldn't do that in the first place, even if someone tries to give it to you. So, all in all, the fact that she has it on her hair proves that she is harassing her, took it away from her, or being um, she's being disrespectful. Even if, like, Lishu gave it to her, by taking it, she's been disrespectful. So either way, she's screwed. So he's like, yeah, you literally have this on you, and this physical evidence. I'm just surprised at the fact that she decided to just come out like that, wearing the hairpin, without, like, how much brazen you have to be. That even in front of Jinshi and, like so many, she decided to just do that. Like, either that's stupidity, or she just doesn't care. Like, that's how much she, like, disrespects, like, Lishu, like something like that. Anyways, um, so yeah, and he's like, yeah, please don't do this again. And right, so there you go. That's that. I'm hoping these people will stop their harassment a little bit, at least, because I doubt they're going to stop it forever. They're probably going to harass her again later on, unless and until Lishu actually stands her ground. But Lishu's just a kid, like, she's not really used to any of this. Like, imagine being a child with no one as your ally, everyone trying to harass you, a bunch of adults, grown ass adults, trying to just bully you with nobody by your side. Good God, that is just, yeah. Anyways, right. So that was that. Now after that, Mama asks the doctor, the quack, asks him about the whole Yunus situation, about how they are checked, you know, and he tells them that before they were documents, but they can easily, like, fake it. So they check physically, like, three people checks it. So Mama then realizes that, okay, it's pretty thorough. So how does Jinshi get in? So that's why the next question was, like, do they check it only once? And he's like, no, every single time. They come in, come out every single time. They do it. So now Mama was like, oh, except royalty. So now Mama was like, okay, that's weird. So does that mean that Jinshi is? And then she stops, decided to back out because she knew that she's delving into territory that she shouldn't delve. She's going to get roped into, like, main court politics, like some crazy stuff. So she decided not to delve into it. She's like, no, probably not. You know, like, ignorance is bliss, right? Yeah. Anyways, and then we move on to Gaoshun telling Jinshi to tell her the truth, and Jinshi's like, yeah, I'm going to do it, just, And then he talks about Lakan. That was his name, right? Mama's biological father, yeah. And how nobody knows what the hell is going through his mind, so he's a little bit skeptical about bringing Mao Mao in with him there. So yeah. Anyways, all those things they talk about, and then they move on to inspect the unishes, the the ones that have been added. The from the yeah. So they go and check them, and this is where Jinshi comes across this person. Like I said, this person who looks exactly like that girl in season one. I'm pretty sure that's her. But unless until they reveal it, I'm just going to keep it as a theory, because who knows. Yeah, but apparently nobody has. There's another suspicious thing, because as I said, nobody has seen his skin because of the thing, the scars. Where's that part? Okay, that must be the one from the rumors. Is something wrong with his left arm? He was heavily abused, causing the left side of his body to go numb. Doesn't want to show his skin. There you go. Since he has scars all over. Since he has scars all over. Right. Like I said, yeah, this is probably that character from season one. Anyways, I'm not going to say anything about this anymore unless until they reveal it. So let's just wait and see. Okay, so Jinshi goes and like interacts with him, but before anything could go forward, we have that whole scene with Xiaolan where someone's like, "Oh, that ice was for a high-ranking concubine," and Xiaolan's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she's like scared, like she's like clutching like some kind of a hairpin. So okay, and that's where it ended. Let's see what happens. Like hopefully, like obviously, next episode we'll probably see Mamo try to help her out. So let's see, how that goes. And that is it. That was my reaction to episode number 14 of Apothecary Diaries season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Apothecary Diaries. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.